So Google provides an excellent, completely free, unstructured website builder called Google Sites. And in this tutorial video, I'm going to show you how to create any type of website with it. What's up everybody, my name is David. I hope you're having a great day. Welcome to my Google Sites tutorial for beginners. In this tutorial video, I'm going to cover everything that you need to know to get started with Google Sites. That means I'm going to show you how to customize your header, your footer, show you how the unstructured website builder works to build out the body of your website. Also show you how to set a custom domain name, add in a logo, a favicon, as well as essential pages your website needs. And on top of that, I'm going to show you how to add in e-commerce features to your Google Sites to turn it into an online store. So whether or not you want to capture leads via forms, have a coaching or a consulting offer, or maybe you want to sell physical or digital products, I got you covered. So if you're ready to get started, make sure to check the links in the description for timestamps and resources mentioned in this video. So let's begin. Welcome to my laptop. Let's begin. So to get started with Google Sites is very simple. You need a free Google account. So navigate to google.com, click on the blue sign in button in the corner right there. It'll take you to this page. Just sign into your Google account. If you don't have one, you need to click on create an account right down here, and then click on for my personal use, and then just follow the on-screen instructions to create your free Google account. Next, once you log into your Google account, just navigate to sites.google.com, and it'll take you to this dashboard for your Google Sites. All right, so right down here, you have your recent sites. So that's where any site you're working on will be populated over there. Click on the little hamburger icon over here. You have access to sites, docs, sheets, slides, forms over there. And then the template gallery is right over here. So you click on the template gallery, it expands open. And then with Google Sites, it comes preloaded with a few different templates that you can jump in and customize to your liking, like family updates or help center, project, photo, portfolio, holiday party, wedding, whatever. So we're going to be creating a site from scratch so you completely understand how this website builder works. So go ahead and click on blank site right here. And next, you should be looking at the website builder for Google Sites. Google Sites website builder overview. So let me just cover all the backend settings so you understand how everything is working. Now, in the left-hand corner right here, you have your site document name. You can change that to whatever you want. That name will appear within your Google Sites dashboard. Down here, you have enter site name. Now, this is the logo of your website. So you can have a text logo, but if you don't want a text logo and you want to upload an image, absolutely. Just click on add logo right there. It opens up the settings, and then you're underneath the brand images, and then you can upload a logo right here. You can also upload a favicon. A favicon is the icon that's appearing in the web browser. So by default, it will be the Google Sites icon. So I do recommend uploading a favicon right there. Front and center is your H1 title tag. So every single page you create within Google Sites has this big section at the top right here with the big H1 title tag. So this is going to be your page title, and you can customize it right here. So the title, the font choice, size, bold, italicized, so on and so forth. Now, if you want to change this background image to something more custom, you can absolutely do that. So you click on image over here. Then you can upload your own image that you source from somewhere else, or you can click on select. Then you can select an image from the gallery provided by Google. You also have header type over here. So you have cover, and this takes up the entire space at the top of the site. So when people view your website on a mobile device, your desktop, whatever, this section takes up the entire space. You also have large banner, and then title only, and that removes the background image, okay? Now, up top here, you can undo anything you do. So if you make a mistake, you can just click over here to undo it. And then you can click on redo if you want to redo something, and so on and so forth. So go back and forth with that. Over here, you have the preview tab. So this is quite helpful because you can preview the way your website looks. So this is how it looks on a large screen, then a tablet, and then a mobile device. All right, so click on the X to leave the preview. And now you can share this site with other people if you want. Then you have the gear icon, which is your settings. So go ahead and click on settings over here. And then you have your navigation, your brand images, viewer tools, custom domain, analytics, and the announcement banner at the very top of the site. So that's very helpful because you can have a nice banner that sits at the very top of the website. You can have a link, and you can direct people to do something. So you can have like Mother's Day sale, 30% off, like something like that sitting at the very top of the website. In addition to that, you also have this little more icon right there. So you can see the version history, make a copy, navigate to the help center, and then help improve Google Sites and reports abuse. Next, you have the insert tab over here, and you're going to be spending a lot of time over here as you're building your site. So you can easily add in a text box right there. You can add in images by uploading an image or selecting an image that's already within your Google Drive. You can click on the embed and then embed HTML code that you source from somewhere. And then you have access to your Google Drive for images and videos and anything else you want to embed. On top of that, you have content blocks right there. So these are like pre-designed blocks or sections, as they're called, within Google Sites that you can then just easily edit and adjust. So I can edit the text right there, edit the subtext, click on the plus sign, upload an image, and so on and so forth. So very, very nice. So let's click on this one right there, and there you go. So you can just easily add in sections that you can edit and adjust. Further down, we have these different design elements that we can add into our site design, like collapsible group, a table of contents, an image carousel, button, a divider, a spacer to give like space and breathing room between different types of elements, YouTube, a calendar, and more. Now over here in the left-hand sidebar for your sections, you can change the section color. You have 3 different styles. So style 3, style 2, and style 1. This is based on whatever theme you have chosen, which is what determines what color this will be. You can also upload an image to be the background image of this section over here. And so there you go. So these sections, you can also easily delete them by clicking on delete section. You can also duplicate the section. And if you want to like move things around, just mouse over the little grip icon right there, grip on it, hold it, drag and drop it down. And there you go. You can just move everything into place. And overall, that's how this website builder works. So let me click on placeholder. It's kind of like an unstructured editor where I can kind of move things around as I like on the page over here. And then I click on the element right there and I can kind of minimize the size of the block and so forth. And you can do that with individual blocks within a section over here. So there you go. So if I want to just change the size of this, I can, and just good. That's how it works. Now, if I want to delete this section, I can just click over here, click on the trash can, it deletes that entire section. But if I want to delete a block or an element within this, I could just click on the element that I want to delete, then I click on delete right there. You also have edit placeholder settings over there that you can play around with, and you can also duplicate this specific block right there. But if I want to delete this block only, there you go. Simple as that. Next up are pages. So pages are how you build out your Google sites. So you click on the plus button right there, and that adds a new page. So if I type in about us right here, if we click on the little advanced tab, it says custom path. Custom path allows you to change the URL of this page. So by default, it takes the page title. So for example, this would be website.com/about-us. But if you're like, well, I just want it to be a /about, then you can just add in the custom path right there, and that'll be website.com/about. So you can keep your URLs short and sweet. They don't need to be super long with your page title, which is quite helpful. Boom. Now we got the little menu item going on. Let's go ahead and add in an additional page right here. Click on contact, and then there we go. So now we got a few menu items at the top right there. And now you can jump around by clicking on this. Now I'm editing the about page. Now I'm editing the contact page. Click on the home page. Now I'm editing the home page. And so that's how you can change the page that you want to edit with the website builder. On top of that, if you navigate over here with the menu item, we'll click on contact. I'll click on this little icon right there. You can make this page the home page. You can duplicate this page. You can change the properties like this page name and the path again. Let's jump back over here. You can create a sub page for this, and then you can hide this from the navigation. So maybe you want this page to exist, but you don't want this page in the menu item right there. Then you'd want to hide this page from the navigation. Then you can just delete the page outright. And to reorder your menu items and to create drop downs is very simple. So let's navigate over here to contact. I got the mouse right there. Click and hold, and then drag it down. Now you see the blue line right there, just let it go, and that moves the menu item to a new position. Now let me click on contact again. Now if I mouse over about us, what that does is it creates a drop down. Okay, so that's how you create drop downs with Google Sites, and that's also how you reorder your menu items. And finally, we have the themes tab. So over here, you can create your own theme, or you can import a theme that you already made from another Google Sites account, and then you want to import it to this Google Sites account. Then you have created by Google, so all the default themes that come with Google Sites, and it gives you minimum customization over here. So we see the different colors that we can choose and change. Over here, we can have a custom color if we want, that type of layout. Then we have the font style over here. This is useful because that changes the menu item font. Okay, so you're like, how do I change the menu item font at the top right here? Well, you change over here with the font style based on the theme. And of course, with your page title, you change the font primarily by clicking this drop down over here. But again, if you want to change the font style of your menu items, then it depends on the theme that you choose. I personally like Impression the most. Diplomat's also nice because I like this square box around the page title, but I'm going to go with Impression over here. Setting a custom domain name for our website. So if you click on the publish button up top there in the right hand corner, this is where you can put in the web address. So I'll just type in website. Now this is the URL for your Google site. So it'll be sites.google.com/view/website. It's kind of a suboptimal URL structure. We want a custom domain name. We want it to be like mywebsite.com. That looks way more professional. Now, how do we do that? So step one is that you need to get a domain name. And I suggest using Namecheap because they have low renewal rates for .coms and great registration prices. So to get started, simply type in the domain name that you want to register right here in the search bar. Okay, so I have mysuperamazingwebsite.com, then click on the search function right there, and it'll take you to the next page, which will tell you if that domain name is available or not. And yep, it is. Now, if your domain name is not available, then just click up top here and enter in a different word combination. Now, if you're a brand new Namecheap customer, your domain name is only going to be $6.49 for the first year. Great price. Otherwise, it's $11.28, and then it renews at $14.98. Anyways, when you're ready, click on the Add It to Cart button right there. Then you want to click on the Checkout button in the lower right-hand corner. Then it takes you to the checkout page. So simple enough. Just make sure everything is correct. So you have your domain name registration right there. And you can register your domain name for up to 10 years in advance if you want to lock in a great low price. And then you have domain privacy, which is completely free with Namecheap. And this is very important because this keeps your personal information private, because when you register a domain name, you have to give publicly available information like your name, email, address, phone number, whatever. Domain privacy keeps all of that personal information private. Anyways, when you're ready to buy, click on Confirm Order over here. And then it's going to navigate you to create a Namecheap account. So just follow the on-screen instructions and create your Namecheap account. If you already have a Namecheap account, then just log in. Once you log into your account, you're going to be on the checkout page. So just make sure everything is correct and then pay for your domain name with either PayPal or a credit card. Next, navigate back to your Google Sites website builder, and you want to click on the gear icon at the top right there for your settings. Next, navigate over here to where it says Custom Domains. Then click on Connect Domain right there. Now type in the domain name that you registered at Namecheap into here. So I'm going to put in vloghow.com. And it should say the domain name is not verified. Please verify ownership. So no problem. Click on the link right there. It's going to take you over here to Google Search Console. Now by default, it should populate the domain verification section right there. So click on Continue, and then it'll begin the verification process. Now it tells you that you have to update your DNS records. Now this looks technical. It's really simple. So over here, we need a text record, and you have to input that into your DNS records over at Namecheap. So simply click on the copy button right there. And now we've copied this to our clipboard. Now you want to navigate back over here to Namecheap and then find the domain name that you registered. So click on the Manage button. Once you click on the Manage button, it's going to load the details over here. So we want to navigate from the Domain tab. You want to click over here under the Advanced tab. Once you click on the Advanced tab, then just navigate down here for your host records, okay? And then we just need to add in a text record. So click on Add a New Record, scroll down, and then where it says Text Record, TXT Record, click on that. Then the value, copy and paste it in. And that's the verification. And then Namecheap does require a host name, so you can just use the @ symbol right there. Simple enough. Then once it looks good, all you have to do is click on the little green check mark right there. Next, navigate back to where it says Verify Domain Ownership via DNS Records. Then you want to click on the Verify button. Now it says verifying. This may take a minute, but if you added in the text record correctly, it should take like a second. Look at that. Ownership verified. Done. Now we can go to property over here. Then it's going to load Google Search Console for our Google site. Once your domain name is verified, navigate back to your Google Sites website builder, click on Custom Domains, click on Connect Domain again, and then type in your domain name again over here. So we'll do that, vloghow.com. Now it should pop up as a little blue check mark, and then click on Next. Now you need to enter in a CNAME record into your advanced DNS settings over at Namecheap. So jump back over here, click on Add New Record. So over here, I'm in the details section. So we have our text record there. Now we need a CNAME record. So click on the add record, scroll down, find where it says CNAME record. There we go. Now we need the host and we need the target value. So right here, the host is www and the target value is ghsgoogleHosted.com. So go ahead and copy that, put that in right here, then click on host and type in www, then click on the little green check mark. Fantastic. So now you should have a text record and a CNAME record in your DNS settings. Finally, navigate back to Google Sites and then click on Done over here. And then it begins assigning the domain name. And now we have a connected domain name right here and you are good to go. Now, if you go to publish your website, it should say custom domain, allow up to 48 hours for this site to be viewable. That's totally normal. It usually takes like 30 minutes to 1 hour. It really doesn't take that long, but we can begin designing our website with the Google Sites website builder. Updating the logo and the favicon for our website. Okay, so first things first, let's change this untitled site to the name of our website. So I'm going to change mine to Vlog How. Once you input that information right there, it should update the logo right here. Now, if you're happy with this, you just want to keep it as a simple text logo, then you're good to go. But if you want to add in a logo, you have a few different options. So option number one, you can have the text logo right there, and then you can just upload an icon, or you can upload a dedicated logo. So let me go ahead and click on Add Logo over here. I'm going to upload a logo that I made right here. So we got Vlog How right there. We'll go ahead and open that. And then that populates the logo space right there. And then we have the favicon. So I'm going to go ahead and upload the favicon as well. And I have this item that I made as the favicon. We'll upload that. And there we go. So it saves it automatically. Now, if you're curious as to how I made these, so first off, I asked ChatGPT to whip up a logo, so Vlog How, and it created this little graphic right there. Then I navigated over here to Canva. Now, for a full-size logo for Google Sites, the proper size is 225 by 40 pixels, okay? That's what this size image is right here that I made. It's this size, 225 by 40. And so here it is. So I uploaded the graphic over here, then that ChatGPT made for me. And then what I did is I went to quick actions over here in Canva, and then I clicked on show more, and then I clicked on magic grab over here. And then I was able to just grab this element right here because that's all I wanted. This little camera element, whatever you want to call it. And I clicked on grab, okay? And once I was able to do that, then let me click delete that. Then I was able to just have this image by itself. And then I just added text over here. Nice and simple, okay? Now for the favicon. So the favicon's right here. So I was able just to take this graphic, copy, and then I just pasted it in over here. Now what's the size of this element right there? It's 48 by 48 pixels. And then I just copy and pasted this in, literally just paste it in, boom, there you go, simple as that. And so that's how I create logos and favicons typically with ChatGPT, a little bit in Canva to edit everything. And there you go. So you can upload a custom logo. Now, if you have like a larger size logo that's taking up the entire space at the top right here, then yeah, you want to go ahead and delete this logo right there. So that's why I said you have two options, because let's just go ahead and delete this right there. Let me go ahead and upload the logo. Let's upload the favicon just to right there. So you can have like the little icon right there. And then I can type in Vlog How. So, you know, that's your options really. Just have a simple text logo, or you have the text logo and add in a little graphic, or you can create a full-on dedicated logo for your website using something like Canva. And finally, with logos, make sure to download it with a transparent background so it blends in if you select the transparent menu item. So over here in Canva, once you finish your logo, click on share, click on download, Then right here, you have transparent background. Click on that. Then this will give the logo a transparent background, which is quite important. And also make sure that your logo fits in with the menu item, because if the user starts scrolling down, it's a sticky menu at the top right here, and it's going to be a white bar. So if you select transparent, it'll be transparent when the user's at the top of the website, then it'll be white when they start scrolling down. So just make sure your menu item fits with that. So let me X out of that right there. So you can change the color over here. If I click on the gear icon, then we have navigation, color, transparent. So it's transparent or white. Now, if you choose black, let's go ahead and do that. Then it changes it to a black background over here. Let's click on preview and see it doesn't make any sense because you can't read the logo now. So that's why you want to be aware of that when the user's scrolling down. In short, let's go over here, click on transparent. I would use transparent, looks the best. Then make sure your logo is black text, because when the user starts scrolling down, the menu item is going to be white. Editing and adjusting the offer section of your website. So the home page is going to be designed either as a visual menu or as a sales page. Either one, you want to make an offer at the top section right here. You want to direct the end visitor to like request a quote, consultation, download my cheat sheet, watch my masterclass, like just something. What most beginners do is that they'll just call this the name of their website. So just call this like vlog how. And that's really bad because like one, the logo's right there. I know what website I'm on. What's better to do right here is to make a clear and specific offer for the end visitor to do something specific. Now, if we're over here on the about page and the contact page, then it's totally fine to have the page title be whatever the menu item is right there. And also you can customize these pages individually with a different background image or a different header type. Like if I click over here for contact only, then this doesn't have a background image. If we click over here for the home page, then this changes. So you can have that customizability and ability to like really like build out the site and have a different experience depending on the page. Anyways, make sure you're on the home page. And let's write some clear and specific copy that directs the end visitor to do something. So you want to emphasize like the unique selling point of the website. Okay, so I have launch, grow, and monetize your vlog. So I'm going to highlight this. Let's go ahead and change the font. And the font that I like is Lex Land. I like a little bit heavier font. And we're going to go with bold over here. And that's good, but now it's a little bit too big. So let's make it a little bit smaller. There we go, 48. Let's just widen this just a bit. There we go. Balance that out. And yeah, I like that. Launch, grow, and monetize your vlog. All right, so now we want to add in a short, pithy tagline. Now I'm going to click at the end of my H1 title tag, hit enter, and then you want to write your sales copy right here. Just like 1 to 2 sentences that really helps direct the end visitor to do something. So I already went ahead and wrote some copy. So I have joined 7,000 other vloggers, get access to my vlogging launch framework. This is the smart system for creators who want a steady, solid path to 10K a month. All right, so I'm going to highlight this right here, and let's go ahead and center the text. And there we go. So that's looking quite good, but we are missing one thing. What do we want the end visitor to do? We want them to click on something. So we need to go ahead and add in a button. So let me backspace out of that. Okay, so now we have this nice solid copy at the very top here. So let's go ahead and add in a button. All right, so our button feature, go to insert, navigate down here to button, click on that. Then you need to enter in a button name and the link. Okay, so I have watch my free masterclass, and then you need to add in a link underneath. So you should be linking to wherever you want to direct the end visitor to. So if you're using like a third-party software like an email list provider like kit.com or something like that, where you're capturing emails and then you're sending people down an email list funnel, then you want to link to that as needed. Or maybe you want to direct people to a specific page on your site with a YouTube video that's embedded, maybe it's unlisted, whatever. Anyways, you need to link to something where the end visitor gets the specific offer up top here. So anyways, I'm just going to put in website.com just for tutorial purposes. Let's click on insert right there. All right, so now that we have the button over here, let's expand this so we can see all of the text right there. Let's drag this into the middle right there. And you have a few different design options. So by default, it's set to filled, but you can change this to outline if you want, or just plain old text right there. So I'll switch this to outline. Now, if you want to move it into your offer section, just drag and drop it up and see how it underlines the text. Drag and drop it right there, and boom, you've successfully added the button to your copy. Now, over here, I do want to change the header type. I personally want to go with a nice big cover. Take up a lot of space right there. And let's go ahead and finally change this background image. So I'm going to click over here for image, and I'm going to go to select. And I'm going to use a gallery image already, but you can totally upload your own images if you want. So I'm going to navigate down here and click on this image right there. I like that one. Click on insert, and that is looking great. So let's go ahead and preview this. And yeah, that looks great. So launch, grow, and monetize your vlog. Here's some copy. Nice big button that the end user can click on. And finally, if you do choose to upload your own custom background image by clicking on image, upload, and then selecting an image that you made, what are the appropriate sizes? All right, so you have a few different sizes. So you have cover, large banner, and banner. So the cover size is 2560 by 1440. Large banner is 1920 by 1080. And the banner is 1600 by 400. And that's important because you want your background image to be crisp and sharp and look good. You don't want it to be blown out because that looks unprofessional. And last, if you click on image down over here, you'll see something that says alt text right there. Now for the background image for your offer section, in general, it's going to be decorative. So you want to click this little checkbox right there. This is a decorative image, and that is it. Now, what is alt text? It's just used to describe what the image is for people who may have trouble accessing the image. So for images that are decorative in nature, there's no reason to put alt text. But if it's like a screenshot of something or whatever, then that's when you want to put alt text to describe what the image is if someone can't view it for whatever reason. Anyways, this is a background image. It's decorative in nature, so just click on that, then click apply, and we are all set. Adding in a selling element for our website. All right, so if you're like, what's a selling element? What are you talking about? I call this section right here a selling element. This is your offer section right there. This is the body of the website. The purpose of this element on a web page is, one, to separate the offer section from the body of the website. See how it has like a nice lake gray background. It also has social proof over here, and we can do something similar with Google Sites. And this is how we're going to approach it. So the first thing that we need is a text box at the top right there. And then this is where your copy will go. And so you want to bold the copy over here, and then you want to go ahead and center the copy. Now, with the copy, you want to make sure everything kind of matches. So the copy over here, I have Arial right there, and I like Arial for body text. But this is probably going to be like an H2 title tag, a title. So if it's going to be a title, it should be this font choice right there, Lex End, however you pronounce that. So I'm going to go ahead and change this over here to Lex End. Let's scroll down right there. And there we go. So we'll go ahead and go with semi-bold right there. And that's going to be Lex End. Now we need a 4-column section right here. We'll click on that. And this looks good over here. Now, this section looks good, but we don't need these images. So you can go ahead and click on the box right there. Make sure you only select the box, then click on delete. And then you just want the text right there. And just do that for each and every one. Let's go ahead and knock that out. Okay. Great. Now we can begin writing our body text. And again, we're not using Open Sans. It's going to be Arial to match the body text right up top there. Okay. So just again, your H1, H2 title tag should be one font. Your body text should be a different font that matches. And so you can have 2 different fonts. Don't get crazy and have like 5 different font choices over here. Okay, so now you can write in text that would help build trust and authority with your site. So for example, I could have something like 200 plus vlogs made. We'll have something like that. And I'll go ahead and highlight this and bold it. Now, the next thing I need is like a little graphic or image over here. So with this type of layout, unfortunately, you can't have like an image and then the text next to it with this 4-column layout, but we can use an emoji, and I think an emoji does look nice. Okay, so I went ahead and searched for camera emojis, and I found this website via Google. There's a bunch of different websites that allow you to copy and paste different types of emojis. So you can just find whichever one you like. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this little clipboard icon right there. Copied. Let's navigate over here, hit the space bar, and then we'll paste that in. And there we go. So that looks good. So what you need to do next is just fill this out with text, bold the text if you want, or if you don't want to bold the text, whatever, it's up to you. Maybe add a little emoji to it. Now, again, this has a light gray background. We can do something similar over here. So click on the section color and go to style 2, then this one, style 2, and there we go. And now we can build out this little section with good copy at the top right here, and then a selling element that helps establish trust and authority with our website. All right, so I went ahead and filled everything out. Our title at the top right here, click on the drop down, and I went ahead and switched this to a heading. So the title is your H1 title tag. Your page should have one title, and then you primarily should be using heading tags. Then your subheadings are like subsections of a specific heading. And then you have normal text. So right here, I set this to be a heading, then the font, and then I made it just manually 18, so it's not too big. And then I just filled out this information down here with a quick little emoji, and I think this is looking quite nice. So let's just go ahead and take a quick look over here, scroll down. Yeah, that looks great. Okay, so let's go ahead and add in a welcome message type section for our website. So the goal of this section would be to have like a picture of us, like if you're having a personal brand or something like that, and then you have a text paragraph. And then the goal of the text paragraph is to kind of back up the statement over here. All right, so the element that I'm going to use, the content block, is this one right there with the image on the left-hand side, then the text paragraph on the right-hand side. And I personally want to switch that around. Anyways, just click on the content block right there. And if it does this, like it's in the wrong spot, not a big deal. So we click on the little grip icon, then you can just drag this down right here and then leave it in place. Just pay attention to where the blue line is. And looks good. And now I want the image on the other side. So we just take the image and drag it over here. And see how the blue line again? Let it go. And there we go. We can switch things around like that. Okay, so now we can write copy right here. And then we can upload an image. So I went ahead and sourced an image already from Unsplash, but you can use your own image of yourself. And typically I would give it maybe like a little border around the corners, add a drop shadow to it, make the image nice, and also pick an image that's crisp and sharp and looks professional. So anyways, once you have your image ready, all you have to do is click on the plus sign, click on upload, then go ahead and select the image that you just made. We'll go ahead and do that. And there we go. So right now it's the image is fitting in the block, but we need to make the block a little bit bigger so we can see the little border that I have right there. Expand that out just a bit. There we go. And yeah, there we go. A little bit more. And just like that. There we go. Okay, so now you can see the border of the image over here, maybe just a little bit more to the left like that. All right, so that is looking good. Okay, so anyways, when you get your image all set, then it's time to write the sales copy over here. And the kind of copy that you'd want to be writing over here, again, should be backing up the statement over here. Like helping people do XYZ 1, 2, 3 thing. And like, hi, my name is Brian. Since 2019, I've been doing XYZ 1, 2, 3 thing for specific clientele, blah, blah, blah. And then have a nice, like, subtle internal link to maybe like your about page. Not a big button, but just like learn more about me. And then people can navigate over here to the about page that we'll get to creating later. Anyways, go ahead and fill out your copy now. Okay, so this is what I've come up with over here. So the little title that I got going on, and I set this to a subheading because it's going to be a secondary heading of the H2 title tag that's right here. You see the helping you grow on YouTube and all that. So this is the subheading right there, and I have it set to be a 14 size font. So this title right there is just a little bit bigger. Anyways, I cracked the code on building, growing, and monetizing an audience through video. Hey, I'm Brian. Whether you're starting out, I share proven strategies, blah, blah, blah. So I have a nice, quick, snappy little paragraph right here. And then I have a subtle learn more link. So we're going to go ahead and link to the about page. So in order to do that, just highlight everything. Then you want to click on the little insert link right there, and then it pops up with pages that you can already link to if you want. So if there's a specific page you want to link to, like an external link, then you got to manually do that. But if I want to just link to the About Us right there, I'm just going to click on that page, about us, click apply. Good to go. Okay. So again, all I did with the title right there, set it as a subheading, changed it to 14 size. And again, because this is a heading, subheading, it's going to be the Lexend font choice. That's just what I'm using for my heading font over here. All right. So anyways, now if we take a look at this, like it's kind of close to this element right here. Let's go ahead and click on preview just to make sure everything looks good. And yeah, I would like a little bit more breathing room between this element right here and this element right there. Well, you can absolutely do that very easily by inserting a spacer. So we'll go ahead and click on spacer over here on the right hand side under the insert tab. So click on that. There we go. Okay, so now we need to move the spacer up. So just move it up and just pay attention to where you're going to drop it in. Let's do that again. There we go. Yay. All right, great. And I think that's good. We don't need to like really expand. If you want to, you can, but I think for me, that's enough breathing room between this element and this element right there. So let's go ahead and click on preview again. And yeah, that looks much, much better. And another thing with the size of your image over here and the paragraph over there, ideally you want the two to kind of match in terms of size. So I could add a little bit more copy over here if I want, just to fill out this space right there. Again, it's your call because you're building out your own site, but that's just how I would personally approach it. But otherwise, overall, I think this looks nice. Image, boom, sales copy over there. And now we can continue adding in a visual menu for our website. Let's go ahead and add in a visual menu for our website. So underneath our offer section right here, that's linking to our about page. Let's have some type of like free resource thing that people can navigate to. So maybe we'll create like dedicated pages on our site, and those pages will be listicles with affiliate links or link to our paid products or something like that. Anyways, let's get started. So go ahead and click on that text box right there. And I'm going to call this section free resources. There we go. And I want to change this from normal text because it's going to be a subheading. Let's go ahead and bold it. Red, nope, let's change that to black over there. Then click on Open Sans and let's change that to our font choice that we've been using. I'll go ahead and use semi-bold. And then let's center that, and then there we go. The title looks good. Now we need to add in our visual menu section. So the content blocks over there. I like this one with the 3 images and then the specific titles underneath. Now we can go ahead and upload our images. So let me go ahead and do that. Click on the plus sign. Then you go ahead and click on upload. And I'm going to upload this image right there that I made. And then I'll upload the next one. And then finally, let's upload the last image over here. Now, these images are made within Canva. And the size I'm using is right here, 814 by 822. That's the size that I built out. And each image has a black border. But as you can tell, it's not fitting in perfectly, like it's clipping at the very top right there. So you can manually adjust it if you want, but what's easier to do is just to click on uncrop right there, and then it fits the image in perfectly. And you have a few different options up here, so you can crop the image more if you want, uncrop, link the image to something, and duplicate the image as well as delete it. All right, so anyways, let me click on that one. We'll format that correctly, very good. And then that one right there. So these images are looking great. Now it's time to update the titles. Okay, so I went ahead and updated the copy right here. So I have vlogging tips, camera gear, and grow with AI. Now, one slight issue is that it's using the Oswald font. So I do recommend changing that. I mean, if you really like it, you can keep it. But again, I've been using Arial as my body text and Lexend as my H1, H2, H3 title tags. So you want to kind of stick to that format. So let me go ahead and update the titles right over here. Actually, I'm going to switch this over to Arial. I think that would look a little bit better. Let me go ahead and click on that. Looks good. And bold that. It's a little big, so let's go ahead and maybe make that 24. And we'll do that for each one of these over here. Switch that over to Arial, bold, then type in 24. And go ahead and do that again over here. Arial, and then 24. Looks good. And then bold it. There we go. Okay, now I went ahead and typed in learn more over here. So what we're going to be doing is you're going to create like a dedicated page with the page function over here within your Google Sites website builder. And then all you do is link internally to this page. So I'm going to create a page on vlogging tips and then just link it right here using this function and have a nice little subtle internal link for the free resources. Anyways, let's go ahead and take a look to see how this is coming out, and looks good. I'm going to navigate down here. Yeah, I really like this. Looks nice. Adding in a coaching offer using the spacer section. All right, so over here under insert, we have something that says spacer. But go ahead and click on it and it adds a spacer. Now we've already used this before up top here, and the spacer is designed to give elements on the page a little bit more breathing room so everything's not so squished together and on top of each other. Now, another useful feature about the spacer is that if you click over here for section colors, you can upload a background image. So let me go ahead and do that. And I have an image that I downloaded from Unsplash right there. So I have spacer BG. I'll go ahead and open that right there. Okay, so a few things right here. So first off, you have the readability adjustment. That means that Google Sites will automatically add an overlay on the image so you can add text to make it readable. Now, if this is just for decoration purposes, you can just click that to turn it off, and then it just shows the image as is. But I'm going to be adding text to this. Now, over here, let me click on that. Let's just expand this open, make it a little bit bigger. There we go. Now we have the anchor image. So the anchor image, you can just change the focus of the image. So I'm just going to leave it as is, okay, just like in the middle right there. That's totally fine. Now we need to add in text over here. So simple enough. You just click on the text box right there, and then you can just add in text and then drag and drop it into place. All right, so I have my copy ready to go. I have one-on-one coaching now available. Learn how to grow and monetize your audience through vlogging. So let's go ahead and center this copy over here. Looks good. And now we want to move it into the image. So simple enough. You just click on the little grip icon and then move it up. So the blue line there. Nope. Nope. And yep, right there at the very top. Now, one-on-one coaching now available in black. That doesn't look good. So we'll go ahead and change that to white. And very good. But I know what you're thinking. Like, well, the copy is all the way at the top. Like, this looks a little weird. Like, how do we fix it? Okay, so step one, I would say, like, maybe minimize the image just a little bit so it's not too big like that. And then you need to add in another spacer. So let's go ahead and do that. Add in a spacer right there. And then you want to drag this up above the copy right there. Okay, and to give it a little bit more breathing room. Now you can kind of push this down and kind of balance everything out so your copy is in the middle. And the last step is to add in a button over here. So give the user something to click on. So a button that directs people to your coaching offer. So you'll need to set that up, whether or not that's going to be through your website or using a third-party service. I recommend using a third-party service, which we'll get to in just a bit. But anyways, go ahead and add in a button. So with the button, you need to give it a good title that makes people want to click, and then you need to link to a third-party service where you're going to be hosting your coaching offer, whether or not that's on Fiverr or Upwork or some type of other third-party platform, whatever. So anyways, let's go ahead and fill out the button. Okay, so I got work with me today. Let's go ahead and click on insert, and then the button appears down here. So let's expand this a little bit, and we'll move that into the middle right there or so. And now we just need to add in the button to our copy right there. To do that is simple enough. You just click on the button, then drag and drop it up and drop it into place. Now it's a little on the wide side, so just go ahead and minimize it as needed just to balance the design out overall. And just make sure overall just to kind of balance it out so it's not off to the left or the right. So you're going to have to play around with it just a little bit, but you can figure it out. It's not too hard. So just anyways, bounce the button out as needed so everything's in the center. Anyways, let's go ahead and take a preview of our site just to get an idea of how this is coming together. So it looks good so far. And we have a nice section right here. Yeah, that looks great. Let's go ahead and add an ebook section to our website. So hypothetically, let's say we wrote like an Amazon KDP book and we want to link to it directly, or maybe we're selling a product on Gumroad or some other type of digital product platform. Well, you can link directly to it from your Google site, but you do need to create like a section and offer it to the end visitor. And I think that would be an appropriate section right underneath this coaching offer. Okay, so I always use this content block right here for the image and the text right there, but let me do it a little bit more manually just to show you how this website builder works. So over here under inserts, we're going to be using the placeholder. This is kind of like a do everything block. Anyways, click on the plus sign and then upload your image for your ebook. Now I had ChatGPT just creates me an ebook cover for an ebook on vlogging, just as an example. Anyways, now we have the image uploaded, and then make sure to click on uncrop so it formats it to the correct size. Then move it over just a little bit to give it a little bit of spacing on the left-hand side here. Now we need to add in a text block over there. Simple enough. Just navigate up top there, click on the text box right there, and then here you go. So put in some dummy text and then format the size. So you don't want it too narrow and you don't want it too wide. Maybe like that width right there looks good, or maybe a little bit more like that. Yeah, I think that looks better. Okay, next all you have to do is click on it, then click on the little grip icon, hold it, then drag it into place, and then drop it right there. And then all you have to do is copy and paste in text over here. So I went ahead and had ChatGPT write me some copy. So I'll copy that. We'll navigate over here, and then let's paste it in. Okay, so not bad, but it's Arial, which is good, but the font size is 11. So just make sure to check your fonts elsewhere. So I'm using 14. Just make sure everything matches. Like, it looks weird if your site has different font sizes over here. So all the body text is 14. Arial, great. We'll change that to 14. Okay, so I got to highlight it. There we go. Okay, 14. Boom. And then make sure to break this up a little bit right there. And very good. And if you want, you could change this top section right here if you want to like make that a title. And so it stands out a little bit more. But again, it's totally up to you. Or you can like bold it over here. Vlogging is more than hitting record. Boom. You could do that to grab people's attention. So it's totally up to you how you want to design this. Anyways, this looks quite nice. And so I'm going to add in a separator over here, or divider. So we'll add that in right there. And then we can add in the next ebook and the next piece of copy. So again, to get started, just simply click on the placeholder function again. We'll click on the plus sign. Let's click on upload and then upload your other ebook. So I have a second one that I had ChatGPT make for me. There we go. And we'll move that over. So not all the way on the right hand side, just ever so slightly off to the left. That looks great over here. And then we just need a text paragraph. So you can come up here if you want, then duplicate this. Click on duplicate that, and then just move that off to the left hand side as needed. And we'll move this one back up right there. Very good. Move it off to there. And then we'll take that again, move the divider up and put it right there in the middle. Very good. Okay, so now we got to go get our copy for this book. I'll take it right there. Copy. Okay. And then put that in right here. Boom. Okay, so again, same issue as before. It's coming in at 11 because of ChatGPT, so we'll just change that to 14. And then make sure just to break up any type of wall of text. So just look around where it makes sense to kind of hit the enter button and break it up. And there you go. So overall, that is looking quite nice. Let's go ahead and click on the preview function for our Google Sites. Scroll down. Good, good, good. Yep, that looks quite nice. Now, in addition to these text paragraphs, if you want, you can also add in a button that links directly to wherever you're selling the book. So we'll click on button right there. Just call this buy now. And I'll just put in website.com to link to an external site. There we go. And then move that over and put that underneath right there. Looks great. And then just do that again. So navigate over here, select the text paragraph right there, click on button, and then buy now. Then I'll just type in website.com. There we go. Then drag and drop that right there. And there you go. So now you got two buttons over here that the user can click on. Again, you got to update the link to where people are going to be navigated to. But if you're selling it on like Amazon KDP, then you just link to your Amazon page where your book is listed. Or if you're using Gumroad or whatever digital product platform you're using to sell your product, you'd link it from here. Adding in a testimonial section for your website. So let's scroll to the bottom right down here, and we're going to create a new testimonial section. So like always, we need a title. So go to insert, then the text box right there. And now you want to type in testimonials. There we go. Okay, so let me highlight that, and we're going to change that to a heading, and I'm going to change that to the font that we've been using over here. We'll go with semi-bold. There we go. Make that a little bit smaller. We'll change that to 24. Go ahead and center that, and there we go. Okay, so you have two options, in my opinion. You can use the embed function and actually embed testimonials that you have, or you can create testimonials manually. So the way the embed would work is you just click on embed over here. Then you can embed by the URL or by specific code. So if you have HTML code, just pop it in there and it'll load automatically. So I'm going to use the URL over here. So I have this testimonial right here. I'll click on the little action right there and I'll click on share review, copy the link, take that, copy and paste that in here. Okay, looks good. And then click on insert. And very nice. So then you can change the size of this as you want if it's a little bit too big and whatnot. And you could also like click up top here. You click on that. So show image. I don't want to show the image, for example. I just want to show the testimonial. There you go. So that's your option with the embed function and using Google Maps and finding your business and doing it that way. The next way is to manually design a testimonial section using one of the content blocks. So the content block I like for this is this one with the image off to the left and then text over here. So like with this image right here, you'd probably want to upload an image of a person. So I'll click on the plus sign right there. And then I'll select this image that I have of that person right there and do that again for this person over here. So these are images from Unsplash over here. And then you just want to write the testimonial. Okay, so I went ahead and added copy for the testimonials just as an example. So the little title up top there, I put that in quotations and then I italicized the content down here and that looks good. And so of course you can play around with this too. You can click over here for section colors. So you want to give this a background color to help separate everything, like help separate this section from the rest of the website. You could go ahead and do that. Again, it's totally up to you. So, or you could just leave this as a light gray color if you want, play around with this, or just keep it as white. Personally, I think the red's a little bit too bold, so I'll probably just leave this as light gray because that kind of matches this section up top here that I'm using to kind of separate everything. The offer section, the selling element that helps separate the offer section from the body of the website down there. So I'm going to leave this light gray, but overall, I quite like that. So those are your two ways to add testimonials. You can use the embed function and actually embed a review that you actually have for your business. Or you can manually create the reviews over here and just update the copy as needed. Now let's go ahead and add an FAQ section for our website. So again, like always, go to the text box and then create a section title. Call this FAQ. And then make sure to change it to the font choice. So this is going to be a heading. And then we're going to go to the font that I've been using down here. Where is that? There you are. Semi-bold. Boom. Then change that to 25 so it matches the size of everything else over here. Let's go ahead and center that. There we go. Now we're going to be using the collapsible group. So you click on collapsible group under here, under insert. Then you have your question answer. That's how this works. So we'll just have it be question 1 answer. There we go. And then hit enter again, add in another collapsible group, and then have this be question 2, then answer. There we go. And then do the same thing again. Okay. Then collapsible group and then question 3 and then answer. Simple as that. And this is set to default by collapsible group right there. So if you want to turn that off, then you can. But the way it works is that the user will have to click on this little arrow to expand its open. And like always, it's set to Oswald over here. So you just want to make sure to update these titles to use the correct font that you've been using throughout your site design. So let's go over here and I'll click on this one for normal. There we go. And then I do the same thing over here. Just update these. Okay, so I updated everything as needed. So one, I changed the font to the font we've been using, changed it to 25 so it's not too big and it kind of matches everything else. So it looks good. let's click over here to preview the site so you can see how this works. So we'll scroll down, 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 down right here. All right, so I want to view this question. The user clicks on that, then the answer appears there. You have your nice little title right there for the FAQ to give this section a title. Again, the testimonial section, this section. Again, the light gray background over here helps separate everything. So it's looking good. And finally, let's go ahead and add in a final call to action for our website at the very bottom, right above the footer. So right over here, the call to action is to watch a masterclass to get the vlogging launch framework. So let's scroll all the way down here. To get started, we just want to enter in a text box right there and then begin writing your copy. Okay, so I have grow and monetize your vlog, get access to my vlog launch framework. So I'm going to highlight the text. We're going to change that to a heading over here. It's set to Oswald, which we don't want. I'll change it over here to semi-bold. There we go. We'll change this to 25 so it's not so big. Center it. Maybe I'll reduce the size of it a little bit. Let's maybe make that into the middle. There we go. Yeah, that looks good right there. Well, maybe a little bit wider so it's not. There we go. There we go. Perfect. Okay. Now we got that right there. Now we just need a button. So let's go ahead and do that. And then I'll just say, watch my masterclass. All right, so go ahead and click on insert and let's expand the button open just a little bit. Then move that into the center right there. And very good. And then I'm probably going to change the color of this over here. We'll go with style 3 and I'll style 3 again. And that kind of pops off the page a little bit more. And that's a nice attention grabbing final call to action at the very bottom right here. You can also do additional things, like if you want to highlight this text right there and underline that so it stands out a little bit more. Small things you can do as well. But anyways, that's how you create a quick and easy final call to action for your websites. Adding in a footer for our website. Okay, so let's navigate to the very bottom. So we built out a nice looking homepage, and now it's time to add in a footer. The footer is going to be on all pages. Now, the footer does take a bit of work, so let's just get to it. Let's click on add footer right there. And then next we want to click on insert, and then you want to make sure to click on this 4-column block right there. Okay, so a few things. We're going to move this text block below, move it down below. There we go. The reason why we're moving this down below is that's going to be the copyright of our website. So you want this to be just literally write copyright bloghow.com, and then you want to put in maybe a page separator right there, then put in like privacy, then terms. There you go. Now you have to manually create a privacy page, manually create a terms of use page, then create a link to that specific page. But the copyright belongs right down there. Okay, now this 4-column design, this is really helpful for building out a nice looking footer that's super simple and easy. All right, so the left-hand block over here, I like to have it be the image or the logo, image logo for the site. So anyways, let's click on upload over there. Let me click on Vloghow logo right there. Boom. And then underneath here, if you want, you can add in a quick description of what the website is about. So it's like grow and monetize your vlog. Done. Now it's open sans. So again, make sure to change it to your body font. So for me, that would be Arial. There we go. Keep it simple like that. Then over here, I don't want this. Eliminate that. We'll call this company. Done. Bold that. Change that to Arial again. And then same with this. We don't need this right here. Delete that. We'll call this maybe learn. Bold that. And then again, Arial. Okay. And then over here, delete that. And we'll call this maybe connect. There we go. Connect. Highlight that. Bold. And then Arial. Okay, so now you can just build out links over here as needed. So this could be like about, contact, resources, and so forth if you want. So you can have this over here, underline that, then just build out the links right there if you want. If you want to balance it out a little bit more, just hit enter, then kind of line up everything as needed, and then just do the same thing as well. So you can highlight this and you can change it to be off into the left-hand side if you want that. Again, it's the footer. It's not that big of a deal. Just build it out like that. Okay, so learn, we'll say maybe like affiliates, okay, FAQ, and then we'll add an additional page called supports. There we go. Okay, so we'll go ahead and underline that. There we are. Boom. Okay, so each of these links, you'd have to highlight that, then manually link it to a page on your site. Now with the connect function over there, you can use the social function over here, social links. So you have a bunch of different options with this fourth column design. So you can have like email, the physical address of your business, and the social media links if you want. Okay, support at vloghow.com. And then you want to click over here and then just manually link to the email, and it'll automatically link as needed. So mail to does that automatically. You don't have to do anything, which is super duper helpful. And then finally, you can add in social media links by clicking on the social links function right there. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so link number one, what we'd say is facebook.com. Then we'll have instagram.com. And then finally, youtube.com. youtube.com. There we go. Then click on insert. Okay, so it pops up over here. So like always, it's a visual website builder. So just drag and drop it into place. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, so see the blue line, drop it in place, done. And then hit enter to move everything down. Highlight connect, go ahead and underline that. And that looks very, very nice. Looks very professional. Nice, simple, easy logos. We have company, learn, connect, then a bunch of links over there, a bunch of secondary links for learn, and then maybe like the company link will be the primary menu that you have up top there. You just manually redo it down here. And to finish up the footer, a few additional things I would recommend is one, changing the background color. Like white is okay, but let's make the footer a dedicated color to help separate it from the rest of the website. So let's click over here for section colors, style 2. Same thing with this element right there for the copyright. There we go. We can also add in an image to set at the very bottom of our website if we want. So to do that again, just click on the spacer right there. And then over here, click on section colors and then go to image and upload an image that you want to put at the very bottom of the website. So I'm going to use the image that I have at the very top of the website. So I'm going to click on select, scroll down here, select that image again and click on insert. And that looks good. So let's expand this down just a little bit. All right. And let's go ahead and preview our website. Looks good. So scrolling down here, yeah, that looks great. So overall, that's what I would recommend for adjusting the footer down here, and maybe add in a little design element if you like. Creating a drop-down link for our main menu. Okay, so our homepage is all done, and if we navigate down here, we have this visual menu for free resources. Well, how do we add that to the menu up top here? How would I do that? Well, let's click on the plus sign over there, create a new page. We're going to call this page resources. Click on done. Okay, so that's added to our website, and now we have this resource page right here. Now, with all your individual pages, the way I would approach this is I would change the header type, and I would change this to banner to make it smaller, a little bit more readable. Again, it's totally up to you, or you could just remove the banner altogether and just have a title like that if you like a nice, clean, simple design. Again, it's totally up to you. And of course, you can just update the image to a more custom design if you want. Okay, now that we have a resource link over there, the easiest way to do this is just click on the little icon right there, and then you want to add a sub page. So you want to go ahead and add in all your specific resource pages that you link to from your home page, and it'll add it over here. Okay, so I went ahead and added vlogging tips, camera gear, and grow with AI. Now with this dropdown, you want to keep the menu items to like 2 things max, and with the dropdown in general, you want to keep it to like 7 items max. Like less is more, maybe 3 to 5 things to click on max with a drop down menu. Okay, so let's click over here for the home link. Now, since these are child pages of the resource page, just to let you know, the structure of these pages is going to be like, for this example, for this site would be vloghow.com/resources/vlogging-tips/camera-gear. And so on and so forth, okay? So just letting you know, like that's how the URL structure is when you create a child page or sub page, whatever you want to call it. I call it child pages. Anyway, so now it's time to add it as a link down here. So learn more. So that's vlogging tips, highlight that. Then click on the little icon right there to insert a link, and then click on the appropriate page. Boom.
So it should say page equals vlogging tips, click on apply, and then just go ahead and do that for each and every one of your links. So it's super convenient because you don't have to like manually type in any type of URL. You can just self-select the page that you just created over here, grow with AI, and there you go. So that's how you add a drop down to the menu for like a resource page and link to the appropriate pages over here with your visual menu for your free resources. Setting up a coaching offer for your website. All right, so we designed the homepage as a visual menu, and as part of the visual menu, we have a coaching offer in the middle of the site design. Now we do want to add a coaching page at the top right here so people can navigate to our sales page regarding our coaching offer. And yes, you do need to create a sales page explaining your coaching offer. A big mistake that beginners always make is that they direct people immediately to the booking page. And that's a mistake because people don't understand what I'm signing up for, what the process is, how it happens. Like, you need to explain all these objections people would have to signing up to a coaching offer. Like me with my Fiverr gig, like I don't just link directly to my Fiverr gig because this is confusing because a light box appears. You can't read the copy. What's going on? Why should I sign up to this and go through the rigmarole of creating a Fiverr account? So anyways, let's go ahead and create a page. So click on the plus sign. I'm going to call this coaching. Click on done, and I'll change the header type to banner right there. Now we have a nice little coaching offer at the top right there. Let's navigate back to the home page over here, and then just make sure to update your link over here as needed. So the link right there, we'll select coaching, we'll click on update, and we are good to go. All right, so how would you conduct a coaching offer? Well, you need a third-party solution. And one solution I do really like is Calendly over here. So Calendly is completely free to use to get started with. I like the design and interface. It's clean, simple, and it's easy to navigate. Now, Calendly is free, but they do have a couple paid tiers. And the reason why you'd want to upgrade to the standard plan is if you want to charge for paid consultations, which is probably what you want to do. So unfortunately, you do need to upgrade to a standard plan. Now, on the free plan, you can totally have a coaching offer, but you can't have people like pay to book your time, which is what you want. And once you upgrade to the standard plan, all you need to do is go to your Calendly dashboard. Then you go to integrations and apps. Then you integrate either Stripe or PayPal. And then when you're over here, you click on schedule. Then you click on your meeting right there. You go to more options. Under more options, you have payments. Then payment right here, you can connect either Stripe or PayPal to your Calendly account. But again, it must be on a paid plan. And then you can set like book my time for $50 for 30 minutes, whatever. You could do that. Another alternative to Calendly is actually Google Calendar. It's a little confusing to use in my opinion, but you can totally go over here, create, and you can set up an appointment schedule as well. And then once you want to share your appointment over here, you just go to your booking page right there, click on that. And then you go over here to preview. This is what it looks like over here that the end visitor will be navigating to so they can book your time. And then you can copy the link and share that via a button. So they click on that, link successfully copied to the clipboard over there. And then I'm over here on the coaching page and we'll go to insert and button. Then I can just share the link as needed to the Google Calendar app. So if you want to have coaching, that's what I would suggest, Calendly or Google Calendar. But you do need to have a Google Workspace account to have paid consultations via Google Calendar over here. Or you need to upgrade your accounts over here at Calendly to a paid subscription in order to have integrations for your account so you can integrate Stripe and PayPal. Adding e-commerce functionality to your Google sites. Okay, so you want to set up a store where you're selling physical products. Well, Google Sites doesn't have any type of e-commerce functionality built into it, but you can embed a third-party solution. Now, the best third-party solution, in my opinion, is Ecwid. Ecwid just works really well with Google Sites because they take care of all the little technical details on the back end, so you don't need to worry about all that technical stuff, and you can just focus on selling. Like technical details like setting up your product pages, your checkout page, coupon codes, SKU, managing your inventory and sales. All of those things are taken care of by Ecwid. Now, Ecwid does have a few plans. They have the starter plan, $5 a month. You can have up to 5 products. Then they have the venture plan at $25 a month. You can have 100 products and e-goods. Then the business plan adds on additional features like abandoned cart recovery, as well as being able to have product variations. Anyways, when you're ready, go ahead and click on login, create your account, and then this is what your dashboard will look like. Now, to set up your catalog, just click on catalog and then you click on add a new products to add products to your Ecwid account. You can upload images over here, name, SKU, and then a product description. Let me leave this page. So let's take a quick look at an example product right here. Now, under options is where you can find product variations, but again, you need to be on the business plan. Anyways, when you're ready to have this be embedded into your site, you need to navigate down here to where it says website. Go ahead and click on website, then scroll all the way to the bottom, and then it says add your store to one more website, pick a platform. Okay, and then we want to click on other platforms and site builders. So click on learn more right there. And then we want to copy the code to our clipboard. Okay, then click on this little blue check mark right there. So copy, there we go. Okay, so let's navigate back to our Google site. Now you have two options with this. You can just create a standard page, click on page. I'll just call this shop, click on done, and then I'll change the header type over here. Then we'll make that a banner, go to insert, then click on embed code right there, paste that in, then click on next, and then click on insert. And now it's going to populate this area with your product. So just make sure it fits correctly. And there you go. So then you have your banner at the top right there, and then your products over here that the end user can buy. Another way to do it would be to click on the plus sign, then go to full page embed. Click on that one right there, the full page embed. I'll just call this shop 2. Click on done. And then you want to click on add embed right here. Then embed code, and then copy and paste that code in again. Then click on next, and then click on insert. And then it will begin populating the entire page over here. Now, yes, you can't scroll down, but that's okay. If we go over here to preview, you'll see that it's working as expected. So right now I'm currently on the shop 2 page, and it's going to populate the entire page over here with my products. The only thing I don't like is that there's no title to the page. I do like having a title like this, shop over here, and then the products populates over here as needed, but it's totally up to you. So anyways, let's navigate back to shop 2 over here, and this looks great. Okay, so you have this nice layout over here. The user clicks on the product right there, then you have the nice big image with multiple images right there, then the title right there, product, add to bag or add to cart. You can change the copy over here. Product details looks great. Like all you do is set up everything in Ecwid and embed it, and then this is what it looks like. And I'm on like my logos right there. Everything's working really well. All right, so let me go ahead and click on the add to cart right there. Let's go to checkout. And then there you go. So it takes you to the checkout page that's already on the site. So it's a nice, clean, and easy to use system to add an e-commerce functionality to add an online store to your website. How to sell digital downloads via Stripe. So on our website, we have these two sections over here that are promoting an ebook, and we have a buy now button. But the problem is that the user clicks on the buy now button and they're not directed to any type of checkout page. Now you have a bunch of different options to host digital products, but one quick and easy way to sell low ticket products is to use Stripe. So just navigate to stripe.com and then go through the process of creating your account. Once you have a Stripe account, all you have to do is navigate over here to product catalog, click on that. This will show your products. Then you want to click on create product over there. And then you want to go through the process of just filling out your information as needed. Okay, so I have how to vlog, grow a popular vlog channel people love. And I have that so it matches this product title over there. Okay, so anyways, go ahead and upload an image. So select the image over there, and it has to be under 2 megabytes, by the way. So make sure your image isn't too big. Now this is going to be a one-time payment. So we'll make it as a $7 ebook, and let's go ahead and add the product. And there we go. So how to vlog, it's added right there. So let's go ahead and click this product. And now we want to create a payment link. So to do that, you want to click on the little 3 dots right there. And then you want to click over here where it says create payment link. And now it'll load this section over here. So you're on the payment page, the product, just make sure everything looks good. So you can add another product if you want to this page as well. Collect taxes automatically, customer address. You can have these different options as well. And if you want to explore the advanced options over here, you can have custom fields, promotion codes, allow business customers to provide tax IDs and more. So you can set up a coupon code if you want, whatever. I'm just going to keep things very basic over here. Now, what's really important is like, well, what happens after the user buys this? They send you $7 for this ebook. Then what happens? Well, you need to deliver the product. So over here, you have your confirmation page. So this is what it'll look like when someone submits payment. Thank you for your payment. And you can replace that with a default custom message like, hey, thanks for buying. Click here to get your ebook. You have something like that, or provide a link to where your product is hosted. Or you can have it be, don't show a confirmation page and just redirect the customer to your website. So you could host like your ebook within your Google Drive if you want. So this is Google Drive as a quick example. Here's the ebook image that I have. So I'm going to take this item right there, and let's go ahead and click on share, and then we'll say copy link right there. We'll navigate over here and I'll input that share link right there. And then we can create a product link or a payment link. So anyways, when people buy, where are they directed to? They're immediately directed to this. This will load up for the end visitor, and then they can just like click on the download button and get access to the product that they just bought from you. So that's how this all works with Stripe. It's very simple. Anyways, let's go ahead and click on create link. Now you want to grab the payment link that is right here. So go ahead and click on copy. Now we've copied the payment link. Now let's navigate back to our Google Sites, and let's go ahead and edit the button over there. I'll edit that. Let's go ahead and add in the payment link right here. Looks good. Then click on update, and there you go. So let's go ahead and view our site. All right, so I'm going to scroll down. I'm going to click on the buy now button over there, and it redirects me to the payment page for this specific product via Stripe. How to blog with Google Sites. So Google Sites is not a blogging platform, but the way I would approach it, if you really want to do content marketing or create a bunch of pages for your site, well, I would begin by creating a dedicated blog page. So I'd click on the plus sign. We'll call this blog. It'll be added to our main menu at the top right there. And then we can change the title over here. So vlogging tutorials, we'll just say that, something like that, vlogging tutorials. So the user clicks on blog. Page opens up saying vlogging tutorials. Let's change the header style to maybe something like this over here. Now we want to create child pages. So every time I want to create a new page, I can just navigate over here and then click on sub page, add a sub page. So I'll create a sub page like how to vlog. And then the advanced path would be, I'd want this to be like how to vlog, something like that. Anyways, now we have a child page right here. Now this page URL structure is going to be vloghow.com/blog/how-to-vlog. And then you just use the insert function over here and create content. Now with the blog page, you see how it has a drop down over there? Well, we don't want that. If you're going to be creating like 20, 30, 40 blog posts, well, you want to hide this. So click over here, hide from navigation. And then the user just clicks on blog over there. The blog page opens up. Then you can manually link to your pieces of content over here. So you can structure this in a nice, easy to use way. Something similar to like what I do over on my site with the view all topics page. You could just set up something like this within Google Sites where you have your title and then different blog posts. If you want to go that route where you have like a blog, it's dedicated like content marketing section and link to different things. That's how I would approach this. So I would just build this out with different text boxes like right there. And then I'd add another text box over here on this side and just build it out, make it nice, move that up right there. And then just add in links to your blog posts here. So maybe this is like one topic you're covering and this is another topic you're talking about, similar to how I design this section over here on my blog. So anyways, that's how I would approach blogging. And then the user can just navigate to the specific piece of content from this singular page over there. And again, Then you have your dedicated blog posts, and then just build it out with content. Adding in a contact form to our contact page. All right, so I want you to navigate over here to the contact page, and now we're going to begin building out this page by adding in a form. So step one is to add copy at the very top of your contact page to set the context for how you want people to contact you. Like, hey, thanks for interest in the website. We reply to emails in 24 to 48 hours, something like that. Anyways, to get started, just click on the text box and then begin writing. Okay, so I have a nice little paragraph at the very top right here. We'd love to hear from you. Here's different ways you can contact us. Let me just add a little bit of padding to the left and the right of this. Yep, that looks good. Okay, the next step is to add in a contact form over here. Now to do that, you need to navigate to Google Forms. And to get to Google Forms, just go to your Google account, click on this menu item, then you have Docs, Sheets, Slides, and Forms. Now over here, you can create a contact form. Very simply, you can create contact information, or you can start with a blank form, whatever you want to do. Once you do that, your forms are going to be populated underneath the form tab in the right-hand sidebar over here. So we have this form right there. So just go ahead and click on it, then click on insert. And then the form will be inserted. And now just make sure that it's sized correctly. So we got to expand this down ever so slightly. And there we go. So now we have a form embedded on our contact page. And one additional thing that you can do with the contact page, if you have like a physical business, it is helpful to embed a map. So you just click on the map function over here. Then you can choose where you want to embed. So let's click over here. I'll just add a random spot. We'll type in Connecticut, USA. There we go. And we'll click on select. All right. Then we'll expand that all the way out. Looks good. Okay, and so you can have this open in a new tab if you want. And there you go. So we have the form right there. You have the map sitting at the bottom, and then you have your site footer. Adding Google Analytics to your website. So Google Analytics is important because that tells you how many people are visiting your website, what pages they're visiting, how long they're staying, and so forth. Now to add analytics, you want to click on the little gear icon. Then you want to navigate down here to Analytics. Then you need to add in a measurement ID from Google Analytics. So that means you need to navigate over here to Google Analytics and create your account, and then go through the process of adding in a new web property. So let me click on admin over here. Once you click on admin, then you click on create and you create a new property. So it's a little step-by-step process. Just follow the on-screen instructions. And once you have a web property, you want to navigate down here to where it says data streams. Click on data streams, and then you have your property right here. So this is just a test website that I have. Click on that, and then your measurement ID is right here. So you go ahead and copy that. Then you input that right over here. Then you enable analytics, and you are good to go. All right, everyone. So that's pretty much everything you need to know to get started with Google Sites. So once you build out your site and you're happy with the design, it's time to publish. So go ahead and click the publish button right up top there. Then go ahead and click on publish your site. Anyways, that is it for this tutorial video.
Okay, everyone, that's it for this tutorial video on Google Sites. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, subscribe and hit that like button. My name is David. Thanks for watching and have a great day. Bye-bye.